Local delegate is out on bond after police say he hit a woman with his car and then drove off. 59th District Delegate Matt Fariss is now facing multiple charges.
ABC 13's Kelsey Childress joins us live from the courthouse in Rustburg. And Kelsey, Fariss says he did nothing wrong.
Yeah, Danner, that's right. He says those claims are false. But according to the warrants that I picked up from the courthouse behind me today, they tell a different story. According to state police, Delegate Matt Fariss was involved in a hit-and-run crash on March 2nd on 501 near Windfall in Campbell County. They say his car crossed over the center line and hit a woman who was walking on the other side of the road. It turns out, according to the victim account statement in these warrants, that the woman he allegedly hit was at one time his passenger. The woman told authorities that Farris's tire blew out while they were driving down the road. She says he became increasingly angry and aggressive while trying to fix it, so she got out of the car and started walking. She says he yelled at her to get in the car. When she wouldn't, he made a sharp turn and hit her, which knocked her to the ground, according to the warrants. She says Fariss drove off. Police say he turned himself in the next day. He was charged with malicious wounding, felony hit and run, and reckless driving, and released on a $7,500 bond. I spent the day trying to get answers from Fariss. I went to his home, but no one was there. I called his number that was listed in the warrants.
This is Kelsey Childress with ABC 13 News.
A man picked up and said I could leave a message for Fariss. I left a message and asked who answered.
And who's speaking, may I ask?
But he hung up on me. I also emailed his office and got the following statement from Delegate Fariss saying, quote, "While I may have made some mistakes in my life, these charges are false. I look forward to clearing them in a court of law." Now, I also reached out to the Speaker of the House of Delegates, Todd Gilbert, about these charges and any possible consequences. He released the following statement saying, quote, "I am aware of the charges against Delegate Matt Fariss. I am certain that Virginia's legal system will ascertain all the facts and adjudicate the matter in a timely and just fashion."
A local delegate is out of the running for the Republican seat in an upcoming election after officials say he failed to submit his paperwork. Matt Fariss is disqualified from the 51st District House of Delegates Republican race, which covers parts of Campbell and Bedford counties. The chairman of the GOP Legislative District Committee says Fariss did not submit his candidate paperwork by the deadline, March 30th, even after multiple calls and emails. Eric Zaire is now the official Republican nominee for that district.
This does follow some legal trouble Fariss was involved in last month. In early March, authorities charged Fariss with multiple felonies after an alleged hit-and-run accident in Campbell County. He's facing the following 3 charges: malicious wounding felony, failure to stop at an accident felony, and a reckless driving misdemeanor. Developments tonight from the courtroom as a state lawmaker is facing charges related to a hit-and-run in Campbell County. A judge deciding today that the case against 59th District Delegate Matt Fariss will move forward.
ABC 13's Mia Nelson is live from the Campbell County Courthouse with some new information from today's preliminary hearing.
One thing we learned today is that Fariss was dating the woman he's accused of hitting with his car back in March. Today, 3 witnesses took to the stand: the state trooper that arrived on scene, a witness to the incident, and Farris's then-girlfriend, Julie Miles. Miles says this all happened after a tire blew out while they were on their way to dinner. She says Fariss got aggressive and she decided to walk away. She says Fariss drove up alongside her and was screaming at her to get in the car. She says he then turned and hit her with the driver's side of the car, knocking her onto her hands and knees. We've reached out to Fariss since he was first charged to try and speak with him on camera and haven't been able to talk to him. Today, I tried to ask him a few questions as he entered the courtroom. Hi, my name's Mia Nelson. I'm a reporter with ABC 13 News. Could we ask you a few questions about the charges that you're facing?
I've got to meet with my attorney. I appreciate it, though.
Do you think that you should be running for the district when you're dealing with these charges? You said that you believe the charges are false. Do you stand by that? This is charged with malicious wounding, failure to stop at an accident, and a misdemeanor of reckless driving. The defense attorney asked the judge to dismiss the felony charges. He said Fariss did not intend to hurt Miles and there was no malice. But in the end, the judge did certify them. The case is now heading to a Campbell County grand jury. They meet next in September.
Virginia Delegate Matt Fariss will now face a trial in Campbell County. Authorities say Fariss was involved in a hit and run in Campbell County earlier this year. According to officials, he hit a woman he was dating with his car on Route 501 in March. State troopers say that woman suffered minor injuries. Don Caldwell, the Commonwealth's attorney for the city of Roanoke, has been appointed as the special prosecutor in this case. The trial is set for January 19th at 9 a.m.
Yeah, former Delegate Matt Fariss was on trial after his ex-girlfriend claimed he hit her with the side of his car during an argument. ABC 13's Alexia Stanbridge was in the courtroom and joins us live from Campbell County.
The jury found Fariss not guilty of everything but a traffic infraction. His punishment, a $500 fine. Now, multiple witnesses took the stand today, including Fariss and his ex-girlfriend, Julie Miles. Miles said they got in an argument about a flat tire and that she decided to walk to her cousin's house. She says that Fariss changed the tire, drove up and told her to get back in the car. She says as the traffic built up, Fariss turned off the highway and hit her with the side of his car. Roanoke City Commonwealth Attorney Donald Caldwell was the special prosecutor on the case.
I feel relatively certain that the lack of visible injuries, documented injuries to Ms. Miles probably played a role in the malicious wounding charge for sure.
Fariss did not want to comment after the trial, saying he wants to let it be. And there's still an active protective order case pending, so the defense attorney didn't want to go on camera. However, he did tell me he's pleased with the outcome of the case.
Former Delegate Matt Fariss is behind bars and facing a slew of charges tonight after a routine traffic stop took an incriminating turn. Deputies found illegal drugs and a gun in his car. ABC 13's Alexia Stanbridge shares what she learned from warrants today.
According to these warrants I obtained from the General District Court here in Campbell County, deputies found a substance in Farris's pocket that tested positive for meth. They also found a rifle in his vehicle. According to the Campbell County Sheriff's Office, this happened during a routine traffic stop on Saturday night. They tell me they had reasonable suspicion to pull Fariss over.
I was going to be Red House headed towards the village just before Camp 9 Road. I got a permanent trailer tag.
440, that comes back to Charles Fariss.
That's when deputies say they found the drugs and the gun. Fariss faces 3 charges: violation of a protective order, possession of narcotics, and possession of a firearm. Earlier this month, a jury found him not guilty of multiple felony charges relating to hitting his ex-girlfriend with his car. There is still a pending protective order in this case. Farris's attorney says he understands that these charges are in relation to that protective order, but that Fariss has not contacted or seen that person who filed it. And the violation of the protective order charge is in relation to having a firearm. Fariss is being held in jail without bail, but his attorney says they're currently in the process of setting up a bond hearing and that he's hopeful that he'll be able to be released on bond.
Former Delegate Matt Fariss is out on bond. Fariss spent 5 days in jail after Campbell County Sheriff's deputies arrested him Saturday night during a traffic stop and say he had meth.
Yeah, they charged him with violation of a protective order and possessing drugs while in possession of a firearm. ABC 13's Alexia Stanbridge is live in the studio with new details that she learned in court today.
The judge determined Fariss is not a flight risk and granted a $5,000 secured bond today. He will only have to pay $500 of that. He also will have pretrial monitoring, which includes probation and screening for drugs and alcohol. The defense says when the deputy pulled Fariss over, he was in his farm truck going over the lines. According to warrants, deputies found a substance in his pocket that tested positive for meth. They also recovered a rifle in his truck. The defense says this rifle was used for groundhogs. However, having a gun on him is a violation of the protective order. They say he did not attempt to contact the person who the protective order was against in any way. Farris's attorney says he was released from jail today. His preliminary hearing is set for June. Back to you.
This isn't Farris's first run-in with the law. It started in 2014 when he got a ticket for speeding in a school zone.
In the next couple of years, he was charged with numerous other traffic infractions. Take a look at your screen. Violating a right turn on red, defective equipment, and failure to have an inspection. but his charges go beyond just traffic penalties.
In 2015, he was charged with a misdemeanor hit and run. 2016, he was charged with breach of peace. And more recently, in 2023, he faced 3 different felony charges.
Malicious wounding, felony hit and run, and felony reckless driving after his ex-girlfriend claimed he hit her with the side of his car during an argument. Earlier this month, a jury found him not guilty on those felony charges. The only thing the jury found him guilty of was improper driving with a $500 fine.
Fariss served more than a decade in the Virginia House of Delegates. He was first elected in 2011 as a Republican, serving 6 terms in all. Fariss decided to run for office as an independent in 2023, around the start of the case that I told you about involving his ex-girlfriend. He lost his seat in the House to Republican Eric Zare. Former Delegate Matt Fariss was in court today facing drug possession and gun charges. ABC 13's Alexia Stanbridge is live from the Campbell County Courthouse with an update on what went down.
Today, Fariss waived his right to a preliminary hearing. That means his case will go straight to the circuit court and be heard by a grand jury. Now, the Campbell County Sheriff's Office arrested Fariss back in March after a traffic stop. Warrants say deputies found a substance that tested positive for meth in his pocket. They also found a rifle in his car, which violated his protective order. The special prosecutor asked the court to dismiss the traffic infractions today. He says this decision will protect them from jeopardizing the rest of the case on lesser charges. Fariss is facing 2 felony charges and 1 misdemeanor. The prosecutor says the charges carry up to 15 years in prison and 12 months in jail. I reached out to Farris's attorney for comment and to find out the reason why they waived his right to a preliminary hearing today, but I haven't heard back. Reporting live in Campbell County, Alexia Stanbridge, ABC 13 News.
And this isn't Farris's first run-in with the law. In 2023, he faced 3 different felony charges: malicious wounding, felony hit and run, and felony reckless driving after his ex-girlfriend claimed that he hit her with the side of his car during an argument. In March, a jury found him not guilty of those felony charges. They did convict him for improper driving and issued a $500 fine.